For over 100 years, when Latter-day Saints walked into their chapel on Sunday morning, the single most sacred object in the room, the table holding the bread and water, sat quietly off to the side. Not hidden, not disrespected, just not the focus. This year, that might be changing, and the reason traces back through nearly a decade of church directives, all the way to a design choice made almost 200 years ago in one of the very first buildings the Latter-day Saints ever built. This isn't a leak. This isn't a rumor with no paper trail. This is a story you can actually verify, piece by piece, using the church's own official records. And once you see the pattern laid out in order, it's hard to unsee. Let's start with what's certain, because certainty is rare in stories like this, and it's worth sitting with for a moment. Since 2018, President Russell M. Nelson has repeatedly delivered one message to the global church, over and over, in talk after talk. Jesus Christ is meant to be at the literal center of everything the church does. Not a peripheral emphasis, not a theme for one conference, a defining, structural priority, including, it turns out, the physical buildings where members worship every week. That message didn't stay abstract for long. In 2019, and again in 2020, the First Presidency sent formal letters to local leaders around the world. These weren't suggestions. They were instructions. Stake presidents and facilities managers were directed to personally assess the foyers and entryways of every single meeting house under their stewardship, and to standardize Christ-focused artwork as the dominant visual feature the moment anyone walked through the door. Existing artwork that didn't meet that standard was to be relocated elsewhere in the building or removed entirely. Replacement art, where needed, had to come from an approved, curated selection. Think about the scale of that for a second. This wasn't a pilot program in a handful of test buildings. This was a directive sent to leaders of meeting houses worldwide. Tens of thousands of buildings, each one required to reevaluate its own entryway through this new lens. And it happened quietly. Most members outside of local leadership circles never even heard it described as policy. They just noticed, one Sunday, that the painting in the foyer had changed. That's phase one. Here's phase two, and it's where the story sharpens into focus. In October 2023, the church released something even more specific, an official leadership training document distributed to local leaders titled How Meeting Houses Can Be More Inviting and Christ-Centered. This isn't a document that leaked. It isn't a document someone had to dig for. It's still publicly available right now, sitting on the church's own official study platform, filed under Leadership Instruction Materials. It describes meeting houses as spaces for receiving ordinances, teaching one another, and welcoming visitors, and it explicitly frames ongoing efforts to make those spaces more Christ-centered and more inviting as a continuing institutional priority, not a finished project. So by 2023, we already have a documented, multi-year pattern. A church president publicly reframing Christ as the organizing principle of the faith, First Presidency letters translating that into mandatory building-level changes, and an official leadership manual explicitly extending that philosophy beyond artwork and into the broader question of how meeting houses function. That's not speculation. That's the church's own paper trail. The open question, the one nobody has fully answered yet, is where that pattern goes next. And that's where this story gets genuinely fascinating, because the honest answer might not be something new. It might be something old coming back. Here's something most members have never been told, and it reframes everything. The modern LDS chapel layout, pulpit dead center, sacrament table pushed off to one side, isn't how it's always been. It isn't even how it started. In some of the earliest and most sacred Latter-day Saint worship spaces, including the Kirtland Temple, one of the very first temples the church ever constructed in the 1830s, the sacrament table sat front and center, positioned directly in the congregation's line of sight, not tucked to the side. Religious historians who specialize in Mormon architecture have documented this in detail. For much of the 19th century, the sacrament table and the presiding priesthood officers shared the most prominent position in the room, front and center, visually equal in importance to anything else happening in the service. Then, over the course of the 20th century, as the church exploded in size and needed a standardized, mass-producible meeting house design to keep up with global growth, something shifted. The pulpit moved to the center. The sacrament table moved to the side. Historians who've traced this shift describe the sacrament administration as having drifted increasingly distant from the visual focus of both the congregation and the presiding authority, a slow architectural sidelining of what used to be the room's centerpiece. Nobody voted on it. Nobody announced it. It just became the default, building after building, decade after decade, until an entire generation of members grew up assuming the sacrament table had always belonged at the edge of the room. But it wasn't universal, even during that shift, and this next detail is one of my favorite pieces of this whole story. There's a well-documented case of a Utah bishop during the construction of his own ward's meeting house decades ago, personally pushing back against the standard plan. He made a direct request to church leadership: keep the sacrament table in the center, directly beneath the pulpit. His reasoning was simple. He believed the ordinance itself, the actual sacred act at the heart of the meeting, was too important to be positioned as an afterthought off to the side. Church leadership approved his request. That building was constructed exactly that way, and by most accounts, it still stands today, a quiet architectural outlier that turned out to be decades ahead of where the conversation is heading now. So when people today start noticing sacrament tables creeping back toward the center in newer or renovated chapels, they're not looking at something unprecedented or radical or invented out of nowhere. They may be looking at something coming full circle, a return to the room's original center of gravity, dressed up in 21st century construction. And that brings us to right now. This month, as of June 2026, this exact topic has become a real, active, ongoing conversation inside the LDS commentary and podcast community, the space where members, former members, and close observers of the institution dig into exactly this kind of granular, building-level change. Independent podcasters covering church culture and history have been openly discussing what they're describing as a new sacrament table placement showing up in some meeting houses, comparing notes with each other, reviewing photos sent in by members and viewers, and debating what it might signal about where the institution is heading. I want to be completely upfront with you about what that is and what it isn't, because this is exactly the point where a lot of channels start to blur the line, and I'm not going to do that. This conversation is coming from independent commentators and everyday members noticing and discussing changes they've observed in their own buildings and communities. It is not an official church announcement. It is not a press release. It is not a confirmed, named, nationwide program with a specific number of participating buildings attached to it. If you've seen claims floating around online about a precise count of meeting houses under a specific named initiative, treat that skeptically. That specific framing does not hold up against the church's own public records, and I'd rather tell you that plainly than dress up an unverified number to make this story sound bigger than what's actually documented. Here's what actually is documented, laid end to end. An 8-year public campaign from the church's president to make Christ the literal center of the faith. 2 formal, worldwide First Presidency letters translating that campaign into mandatory changes inside every meeting house foyer. An official 2023 leadership manual extending that same philosophy into the broader question of how meeting houses function and feel. A well-documented, nearly 200-year-old architectural precedent for a centered sacrament table, going all the way back to the Kirtland Temple. At least one specific, confirmed historical building where a local leader fought for, and one, exactly that centered layout decades before anyone was talking about it. And right now, in real time, a growing grassroots conversation among members and observers who are starting to notice the same pattern reappearing. That's not proof of a secret master plan, but it's also not nothing. It's a documented institutional trajectory and a documented historical precedent, converging in a way that's genuinely worth paying attention to. Whether this becomes a formal, publicized, church-confirmed redesign rolled out meeting house by meeting house, or whether it stays a quiet building-by-building shift that never gets an official name, is something only time and the church itself can ultimately confirm. But the underlying pattern is real. It's documented, and it says something meaningful about where the institution has been quietly steering its physical spaces for the better part of a decade. There's a broader lesson buried in this story, too, one that goes beyond any single chapel or any single table. Institutions like this one rarely announce major shifts all at once, with a press conference and a big reveal. They move in letters, in training manuals, in quiet, cumulative decisions made building by building, year by year, until one day the pattern is undeniable to anyone willing to actually trace it back. That's exactly what we just did here, together, using nothing but the church's own public records and documented history. If you want to be here when there's an actual confirmed update, official language, real numbers, a real program name, if and when the church ever attaches one, subscribe now, because when that confirmation comes, we're going to break it down exactly the way we did today. Sourced, verified, and without a single invented detail.